The moment you open your mouth to explain yourself, you have already lost. Picture the scene. The accusation lands. It might be a subtle jab at a dinner party. It might be a questioning of your competence in a boardroom. It might be a lover twisting your words in the heat of an argument. You feel the heat rise in your chest. The cortisol spikes. Your brain screams that you are being misunderstood. It screams that the truth is being distorted. It screams that you must correct the record immediately, so you speak. You clarify, you justify, you offer context, you bring up receipts, you try to be reasonable, and in that exact second, you have handed them your throat, because the world does not judge you by the truth of your words. It judges you by the desperation of your delivery. The one who explains is the one who submits. The one who defends is the one who accepts the other person's authority to judge them. You have walked into a courtroom that does not exist, climbed into the defendant's box, and looked up at your accuser as if they were the judge. You have said implicitly, "Your opinion of me matters more than my opinion of myself. Please find me innocent." This is the behavior of a slave. It is the behavior of a subject. It is not the behavior of a sovereign. Today, we are going to perform surgery on your instinct to defend yourself. We are going to cut out the part of your ego that craves understanding and replace it with a psychological armor that cannot be pierced. We are going to teach you how to flip the power dynamic instantly. We are going to teach you how to make an attacker doubt their own sanity while you say almost nothing. But be warned, this requires you to kill a part of yourself that you have been feeding since you were a child. The part of you that begs to be seen as good. The part of you that needs permission to exist. If you can kill that need, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Let us begin by dissecting the mechanism of the trap. Why do you do it? Why, when someone challenges you, is your first instinct to provide evidence of your innocence? It starts in childhood. Think back. When you were 5 years old and a parent or a teacher accused you of something, what was the only way to escape punishment? Explanation. I didn't break it, it fell. I didn't hit him, he hit me first. You learned early on that authority figures hold the power of pain and relief. You learned that your survival depended on convincing that authority figure that your intentions were pure. You learned that if you could just explain it well enough, you would be safe. The problem is, you grew up, but your psyche didn't. You are walking around the adult world projecting that parent figure onto everyone you meet. Your boss, your partner, the stranger on the internet, even your enemies. You treat them all like they hold the keys to your safety. When you defend yourself against an equal, you are subconsciously elevating them. You are saying, "You are above me. You have the right to audit my behavior." It reeks of weakness. And human beings, primal as we are, can smell that scent of submission from a mile away. The masters of power, from the courts of the Renaissance to the boardrooms of modern finance, know a brutal truth. It is much safer to be respected than to be understood. When you rush to defend, you are prioritizing being understood over being respected. You are saying, "Please get me, please see my intent." But a king does not explain his decree to the peasant. A lion does not explain its hunt to the gazelle. The moment you start rambling, giving reasons, showing texts, bringing up past events to prove your point, you have signaled that your internal stability depends on their agreement. You have given them the remote control to your emotions. And once they have that remote, they can change the channel whenever they want. This is the trap of the validating self. You believe that if you just explain it clearly enough, they will say, "Oh, I see now. You are right. I was wrong." How often does that actually happen? Almost never, because the attack was never about the facts. It was about the power. They didn't accuse you because they wanted the truth. They accused you to see if you would jump, and you jumped. The first step to becoming untouchable is to realize that the courtroom is a hallucination. There is no judge. There is no jury. There is only you and your perception of reality. When you stop treating other people like judges, their accusations stop sounding like sentences. They start sounding like opinions. And opinions are just noise, wind in the trees. So what is the alternative? If we do not defend, do we just accept the lie? Do we let them walk all over us? No, that is passivity. We are not talking about passivity. We are talking about dominance. We are talking about frame control. Every conversation has a frame. The frame is the unspoken agreement about who is in charge and what reality we are operating in. When someone attacks you, you are being selfish. You're incompetent. You don't care. They are setting a frame. Their frame is, I am the accuser. You are the bad person. Explain yourself. The moment you start rambling, giving reasons, showing texts, bringing up past events to prove your point, you have signaled that your internal stability depends on their agreement. To win, you must reject their frame entirely and impose your own. There are 3 levels to this. Level 1 is the void. Level 2 is the mirror. Level 3 is the agreement. Let us look at level 1, the void. Imagine the scenario. Someone throws a verbal spike at you. You're being incredibly arrogant right now. The old you would say, I'm not being arrogant, I'm just confident. Defensive, weak, reactive, the sovereign does something else. You look at them. You hold eye contact. You do not blink. You keep your face completely neutral, the neutral mask we have discussed before, and you let the silence hang in the air. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4. Do you know what happens in that silence? It is a psychological vacuum. The human brain is terrified of silence during a conflict. It signals a rupture in the social fabric. It signals that the other person is not playing the game. By staying silent, you are refusing to step into the defendant's box. You are forcing them to sit in the tension they created. Usually, they will start to crumble. They will speak again to fill the void. I mean, you're not always arrogant, but just right now. Why are you looking at me like that? They start defending themselves against your silence. The power has flipped. You haven't said a word, and they are already backpedaling. This is the gray rock method taken to a weaponized level. You become a void. A void cannot be attacked. You cannot punch mist. You cannot cut water. By refusing to provide the resistance of a defense, you cause their attack to pass right through you and unbalance them. This requires immense internal control because inside, your ego is screaming. Your ego wants to fight. Your ego wants the last word. You must leash that dog. You must understand that the most powerful person in the room is the one who cannot be read. Now, level 2, the mirror. Sometimes silence is not enough. Sometimes the situation requires words, but never defensive words. If you must speak, you never push back against the force. You pull it. You use the aikido of conversation. Instead of answering the accusation, you analyze the accuser. You move from the role of defendant to the role of psychologist. Then you never listen to me. You only care about yourself. Defensive you. That's not true. I listened to you yesterday when losing. Psychologist you. It's interesting that you perceive it that way. Or you seem very upset right now. Udin, what makes you feel the need to use labels like that to get your point across? Do you see the shift? Suddenly we are not talking about me and my selfishness. We are talking about you and your emotions. We are talking about your reaction. I have turned the spotlight around. I'm not accepting the premise that I am selfish. I'm observing the fact that you are angry. This is infuriating to a manipulator. They want you on your back foot. They want you scrambling. Instead, you are walking around them, observing them like a specimen in a jar. Does saying that make you feel better? You seem very invested in this narrative. These phrases are shields. They acknowledge the sound coming out of the other person's mouth, but they do not accept the content. It is a boundary. You are saying, this is your baggage, keep it. This technique works because it creates a meta-conversation. The conversation is no longer about the content, whether you are selfish. Here is the completion of the script. This picks up exactly where the previous text left off, at the end of the mirror technique, and carries the narrative through to the end. Combine the previous text with this one for the full runtime. It becomes a conversation about the structure of the interaction itself. You have stepped out of the painting and are now critiquing the frame. By doing this, you prove that you are not trapped in their reality. You are the observer of it, and the observer is always the one with the power. Now we arrive at the third and most dangerous level. This is the paradox. This is the move that separates the amateur from the master. Level 3, the agreement of the abyss. Sometimes the most aggressive, defensive, power-flipping move you can make is to agree, but not the agreement of submission. I'm talking about the agreement of the abyss. Imagine someone is screaming at you. They are listing your flaws. They are trying to provoke a fight. They want resistance. Resistance validates their anger. It gives them something to push against. You look them in the eye and say calmly, "You're right." And then you stop talking. "You're right. I'm difficult sometimes." "You're right. I did mess that up." This is the fogging technique. When you throw a rock into a fog bank, what happens? Nothing, no thud, no rebound. It just disappears. The energy is swallowed. When you agree with an attacker, you steal their momentum. They are pushing against a door, expecting it to be locked. When you throw the door open, they fall on their face. They stumble. They look foolish. But here is the nuance. You must agree with the truth in their statement, without accepting the shame they are trying to attach to it. There is a massive difference between admitting a mistake and accepting a character assassination. You messed up this report. You're incompetent. Defensive you. I'm not incompetent. The data was wrong and I didn't have time. Sovereign you. You're right. The report has errors. I will fix it. Notice what was left out. You didn't address the incompetent part. You ignored the insult and addressed the fact. You took ownership of the action, but you refused the identity. This signals immense confidence. Only a person who is deeply secure in their competence can admit a mistake so easily. Insecure people fight to the death to prove they didn't make a mistake. Secure people say, "Oops, my bad," and move on. Machiavelli would call this disarming the enemy. If you lay down your sword, they look ridiculous holding theirs. It takes the wind out of their sails. It makes them look hysterical and you look grounded. And in the long run, history is written by the grounded. There is a darker variation of this called agree and amplify. This is for when the accusation is absurd or purely manipulative. You take their accusation, you agree with it, and then you exaggerate it until it becomes a caricature. You are so obsessed with money. You're greedy. Defensive you. No, I'm not. I just want to provide for my family. Boring, predictable, weak. Sovereign you. You caught me. I actually swim in a vault of gold coins, like Scrooge McDuck every Tuesday. It's terrible for my back. You say it with a flat face or a slight amused smirk. What have you done here? You refused to be insulted. You proved you are not insecure about the topic. You turned their serious attack into a joke. You established that you are the one framing the reality, not them. This strips the attacker of their weapon. They wanted to hurt you. Instead, you took their knife and started peeling an apple with it. This signals a state of amused mastery. Amused mastery is the ultimate state of high status. It is the attitude of a parent watching a toddler throw a tantrum. You don't get angry at the toddler. You don't argue with the toddler. You are amused by the drama because you know you are safe. You know you are the adult. When you defend yourself, you are getting down on the floor and screaming with the toddler. Don't do that. Stand up, look down, smile. But none of this, the void, the mirror, or the agreement, works if it is just a tactic. If you are using these lines but your voice is shaking, or your eyes are darting around, or your energy is screaming, "Please like me," it will fail. Dark psychology is 20% words and 80% nonverbal frame. You have to build the internal architecture to support the silence. This brings us back to the shadow. Why does it hurt when they attack you? Why do you feel the burning need to defend? Because they are touching a wound that is already there. If I tell you that you have green skin and 18 eyes, you won't get mad. You'll think I'm crazy. You won't defend yourself. You'll laugh. But if I tell you that you are a failure and you defend yourself, it is because a part of you suspects I might be right. The defense is not against me. It is against your own doubt. The ultimate defense is not a verbal technique. It is self-knowledge. It is looking into your own darkness, owning your own flaws and accepting your own shadow. When you know you are capable of selfishness and someone calls you selfish, you say sometimes yes. When you know you are capable of cruelty and someone calls you cruel, you say, "I can be." You cannot shame a man who has already accepted himself. You cannot expose a woman who has nothing left to hide. This is what it means to be untouchable. It means you have integrated the parts of yourself that others try to use against you. You become transparent. The light passes through. The arrows pass through. You are no longer a fortress that needs defending. You are the wind. Let us apply this to the modern arena, the digital world. Social media is a machine designed to trigger defense. Every comment section is a courtroom. Every tweet is an accusation. You see people destroying their own reputations every day by defending themselves against strangers. I didn't mean that. You are taking it out of context. Stop. Never explain yourself to the mob. The mob does not want an explanation. The mob wants blood. When you explain, you bleed. If you are attacked online, use the void. Delete the comment or ignore it or block. Do not engage. Do not lower yourself from the throne to fight in the mud. The sovereign does not debate with the jester. So here is the challenge. For the next 7 days, you are going to play a game. The game is called no defense. No matter what happens, no matter how small the accusation, you are forbidden from explaining yourself. If you are late, say, "I'm late." Do not give the reason. Do not blame the traffic. If you spill the coffee, say, "I spilled the coffee." Do not blame the cup. If someone misunderstands you, let them misunderstand you. Sit in the fire of that discomfort. You will feel the urge to fix it. You will feel the urge to manage their perception. You will feel the urge to be the good guy. Let that urge burn to ash. Watch what happens to the people around you. Watch how they react when you stop playing the game. You will see confusion. Then you will see respect. Then you will see a strange kind of magnetism, because people are drawn to certainty. And nothing screams certainty louder than a person who does not need to explain why they exist. You are reclaiming your energy. You are plugging the leaks in your soul. You are stepping out of the role of the child and into the role of the sovereign. The world will try to pull you back. It loves a reaction. It is addicted to the drama of the courtroom. Don't give it one. Keep your mystery. Keep your power. Keep your silence. If you defend, you are a servant to their opinion. If you ignore, you are the master of your own. The choice is yours. You can spend your life trying to convince people that you are worthy, or you can just be worthy and let them figure it out for themselves. The trial is over. Step out of the box, walk away from the court, and never ever look back.